Okay, item 23, Mairehau Road Improvement Plan, Burwood Pegasus. Hi, Andrea.
Good morning, everybody. Just firstly would like to put out an invitation to you all to come and have a look at our Tiny Huts exhibition that we have going on in New Brighton for the next week. It's open daily from 10 till 4 at 60. How big? Oh, I think that, yeah, some of the drawings are about that big, but the real ones are going to be a couple of metres by a couple of metres. So this is a council initiative. It's a bit like the giraffes that were done a couple of years ago to get people engaged with the space, and so we've had 90 people put designs in, which is absolutely mind-blowing, and we've had, I think, almost 1,000 people come through in the first week to have a look at them, so highly recommend you come down and have a nosy.
So where is the
60 New Brighton Mall.
60 New Brighton Mall.
Yeah, so it's right next to the Westpac Bank, down at the end of the road. So,
thank you. Anything else?
So, Mairehau Road Improvement Plan. So, hoping that this was going to be straightforward, but it's looking a wee bit like it may not be. So, Philip Haythorne-Swaite of Canterbury Disabled Persons Assembly came and spoke with us around a number of concerns he had for the area, and we would have to say that we agreed with him around those issues that he pointed out. They were very pragmatic and made a lot of sense. We see down the bottom of the page, secretarial note, that as a result of the meeting, the shortcomings of the Mairehau Road bus stop will be addressed. But that was only one part of a bigger picture, and I saw the updated plans, I think, a couple of days ago, and I was a bit disappointed to see that a lot of the other suggestions that were made haven't been followed through. Now, there's a roundabout, I don't know if you know, it's right at Burwood Hospital. There's a roundabout and there's shops on two of the different corners. There's a dairy on one corner, and then there's a bakery and a bottle store and a couple of other shops. And so to get from the hospital to either of those things, you need to be able to cross the road. And at the moment, the only road that's going to have a walkway, you know, one of those like that has the islands and the walkways for wheelchairs and things to get through, is the one that doesn't go to either of the two shops. And so the board put quite strongly to staff that we really thought that that was important. Now this is the hospital is a big hospital. I'm sure most of you went to the opening, you had a viewing, and you've been to the opening and that kind of thing. It's not a small hospital. And I think this intersection needs to be treated better than just a bare minimum response, and that's all it seems to be getting at the moment. It might be legally compliant, but I don't think it's...
Just so that you get some resolution of it, I'm just wondering if it was... I see that Chris Gregory is meeting with Philip, but I'm just wondering if it would be sensible if we asked him to come and meet with the community board and you speak directly to him about those issues.
Well, I thought we had, that was the thing. We had met with whoever was the person.
Chris Gregory's in charge of that department.
Yes.
Is it him that you met with?
Was it? No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. So Chris is the boss of that part. Can I just suggest that we ask him to come along to your community board meeting, go through the issues with him, because we're not going to resolve that footpath and that whatever at the moment. Would that work for you?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. Let's see if it works for Glenn.
Yes, it partly does. But I think through you it needs to be elevated to the extent that I see it as a joined up kind of ECAN Health Board Council matter. It's a substantial build, and I think the facilities for public transport are at a bare minimum. I mean, if you equate that build to, say, Northlands Mall, what's provided for there, is hardly
Phil will
anything.
agree with you completely.
I think it needs to get on the agenda of that joint.
The hospital has got, it's got the Burwood spinal unit.
We know. We've heard about it often. But what's happened, Phil, in terms of the bus stop and the access to that hospital?
Well, I'll need to find out, but the positive part is that the DHB they participate in the new Joint Public Transport Committee, so that's a good start. There's a fair way to go yet to actually have the bus stop within the hospital grounds installed in a place which is closer to the actual hospital building, and that there are conversations which we need to progress further.
The issues that I do have aren't necessarily with the bus stop. I
They're
think that has
further
been
back
resolved,
around
but it's the other
Okay.
We're looking at how it's all joined
Yeah,
up.
it's how you
Okay.
cross the road to get to the
So
DA.
how is this best resolved? So if we get Chris to come and talk with your community board,
Yep.
and then do you want further meetings so that you've got ECAN and the hospital board there as well?
Yeah, and is it worth you being
Absolutely.
involved as well?
Yep.
Pulling it together.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll
'Cause I
try
think-
and,
Yeah, at the moment, it appears, so I'm not speaking for staff, but it appears, from my point of view, that it is being treated just as a suburban intersection.
no, we appreciate how important it is, and it's really important that it works for people who are in wheelchairs, especially that it's
Well,
fire.
given the nature of what Bill is.
No,
yeah.
I'm totally on your
It
side.
should be an exemplar bus stop, I mean,
I'm totally with you.
shelter,
Yeah.
rather.
Yep, I'm totally with you, yeah. So, so if we look at two things, one, getting Chris to come and meet with your community board so you deal with all those issues, and then what we'll try to do is get the DHB and ECAN, because we obviously don't tell them what to do, to come and meet with you guys as well.
Yep.
Yeah, is that okay?
Appreciate it, thank you.
Yanni, then Dave.
Is this intersection upgrade a condition of the consent for the new hospital, or is this just something that was planned? And have you?
I don't think it's a condition of the consent. Well, I haven't heard that that's the case. It was more just that.
Okay, I just know
it was,
some of
it
our.
was sort of a bare minimum upgrade of an intersection
Right.
because, yeah.
So it might be worthwhile looking at the conditions of the consent, if there are any, because I know in our ward we've had developments where they actually have to do certain road improvements.
Yeah.
If they're going to create so much
Yeah,
traffic.
this appears to be coming all out of council budget, and the council budget didn't seem to be of the right significance for the
The other
level
question
of
I
the
had was
project.
this. I think this is the same intersection that was raised through our annual plan process.
Was.
So what's have you had any report back on that? Because we had the workshop at the South New Brighton Community Centre.
I think it was further down.
Oh, yes, it was, yeah. So,
I think it was further down.
yeah, I haven't seen the level of detail to know whether all of those issues that were raised at that annual plan meeting have been dealt with. I've only had a really quick glance at it and saw that there was a lot of gaps that Philip brought up. So I think the bus stop one has been improved.
There was another one,
from
Yanni.
that guy that came that night. But,
Okay, Dave.
Look, I just want to reinforce this notion of joined up approach. Here was DHB have spent mega millions on Burwood Hospital and transferred a lot of facilities from PMH over there, and even to the extent of the bus services. I've been a bit irritated lately where I've had people ringing me about when is the actual stop in the hospital going to be activated, and you hear that, well, ECAM want to refresh their timetabling, and in the meantime we've got some elderly people that have to trek all the way down to get the orange line way down by the shops there. So there's a definite need to coordinate not only buses, pedestrian crossings, but traffic management in the whole area, because it's
and
a bit of a
the
siloed
report's
approach
coming
at
to
this
our
stage.
board for a decision very soon, but I'd like to see if we can put, I don't know whether we can put that on hold until we do it properly, because otherwise we're going to have to undo potentially
Guys, can you put up the action points that we were just suggesting? One was that we asked Chris Gregory to meet with the community board, agree this issue, and the second was that we seek to have ECAN and CDHB meet with you as well. No, these are just action points to follow on. So there'll just be a note to the resolution.
It's a note.
Okay?
Can I just make a suggestion?
Yep, sure.
We run a end-to-end process through the rebuild for some developers, and a while back I mentioned about a start-to-finish approach as opposed to an end-to-end approach. And what a start-to-finish approach is different to the end-to-end process is that the end-to-end process looks at the building and what's in the activity that building creates, but the start-to-finish looks at more than just the building. It looks like outside the building at the public realm and around that area. So you might have, like the Burwood Hospital, there need to be a more holistic approach to actually how that through that development, what else is going to be needed, as we do with the buildings in the central city as they're getting built, looking at the public realm on the outside, because a lot of the infrastructure is damaged or not sufficient for today's needs.
It's a very good suggestion, but since it's not on the agenda, I'm not going to accept that, but it is a very good
It
suggestion
sort
that
of
infrastructure
goes with the
or
thinking of
regs and consents might want to look at.
So can I just check though, because to me it seems one of the issues is there's no money. So, I mean, we've had this with a road renewal where the money actually doesn't cater the footpath.
So
Do we need to,
if
we need
that's
to
the
put more
case,
money?
we will find that out.
Okay.
I don't know what the money situation is. It's not covered in the report, so I don't remember every line of the budget.
Well, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to put this, unless there's any changes, moved, Dave seconded Glenn. Put that, those in favour please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed carried. And then I'm on item